Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Rootin' Tootin' Pete.
Pistol Pete, actually.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete.
Okay.
And we are reviewing my movie that was picked on the Wheel of Destiny, 1983's Suburbia.
Red Band.
Oh, it's a Red Band call.
Meet the kids from Suburbia. There's Jack.
Wake up and smell the coffee, man.
Sheila.
I have so many scars already.
Joe.
That could be there all your life.
And Ethan.
I feel kind of scared.
You'll love them. Or hate them.
Metal rejects running wild in our street.
Yeah, man.
Book 'em, Dano.
Their music.
We're talking about kids. Kids like yours and mine.
Well, I'm damn sure they aren't my kids.
Their home.
This is the best home any of us ever had.
I want to pull that move, like doing a Rochambeau.
If we didn't have each other, we wouldn't have anything.
And nobody's gonna take it away from them.
You shut up!
You molested your own daughter, you scumbag.
Hasta luego, shit face.
A new movie about a new generation. Suburbia.
Suburbia, which is a fine punk movie of the ages. Like I said in the top of the show, came out in 1983 when household tensions and a sense of worthlessness overcome Evan. He finds escape when he clings with orphans of a throwaway society. So essentially, this Evan, he doesn't even become the main. There's not really a main character in this story.
It's kind of all of them together.
But in the beginning of the story, just to get the plot rolling, Evan is our guy who escapes from his alcoholic mother, and integrates himself into the punk scene, his local punk scene.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, it kind of is reminiscent of like Trainspotting almost, like just like that's like slice of life. It's like I was thinking about this when I was watching it again because I haven't seen it in decades. It reminded me of a Sesame Street version of like movies like Kids or Gummo.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, because this is very tame compared to those movies.
All right.
Are you saying this is like Sesame Street compared to those movies? Compared to Kids and Gummo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, before we get into our initial thoughts, I was told that we have a special guest on the line.
Yes, we do. Local celebrity Adam Murphy.
We haven't heard from him in a long time.
Yeah, our old pal. And old listeners would know a segment called Adam's Plops. Joseph and Adam used to be coworkers, and Adam would walk by and plop a movie on Joseph's desk and say, "Hey, you should watch this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give Adam a call right now because apparently he's got thoughts about Suburbia.
Got some things to say.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, telephone.
Is this working?
Ring, ring, telephone.
Hold on a second. Says
Like a what is this?
It says it was connected.
What is this show?
Hold on. Let me check and make sure.
Please clap.
It was connected a second ago.
This is dynamite stuff. Joseph Bridges says, have any of you seen The Decline of Western Civilization? We're experiencing it right now.
Yeah.
It was also done by Spheeris, the director of Suburbia, and is more or less the real documentary behind this movie. Easily one of the best docs ever made.
Okay. Something's going on. I keep connecting to the board and then it doesn't connect. Hold on 1 second. Let's give it a shot. Maybe it's accidentally connecting to my... Yeah, that's why it's connected to my laptop as well. Sorry, Adam. I just hung up on him twice. There it goes.
Hey, we can hear it.
There it is.
Hello.
Hey, Kate, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I could hear you the whole time.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties before.
Okay, all right.
But before anything else.
Oh man.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Welcome back to the show.
Classic. Yeah, good. Thanks.
Great to have you back on. It's been too long.
Haven't felt one of your good plops in a while.
You know, everybody needs a good plop now and then.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
I just had one a few minutes ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
So yeah, you and I were texting, and you out of the blue texted me and said,
"Oh yeah."
You said, "What is your text message exactly?" You said,
"I don't know. Let's see."
What the hell did I say to this guy?
He said,
I said, gee whiz, Tyler made you guys watch Suburbia.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I figured you probably had some thoughts. This seems like a movie that you've probably seen in your youth.
Yeah.
And so I said, you got a plop for the show? And right when I was saying that, he was like, hey, if you want, I got a plop. We text each other at the same time. I was like, holy shit, it's a mitzvah.
Yeah, that's simultaneous discovery is what they call that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before,
like Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So before you talk about what movie a plop you have for us, give us your thoughts on Suburbia.
Oh, dude, it's been so long. I wasn't anticipating, exactly going too much into it, but I just, I know that it's like super DIY, low budge. Penelope Spheeris was like hanging out with the punks for a long time, doing The Decline of Western Civilization and all that stuff. And yeah, I remember it being like a fucking bummer.
You could say that.
Especially the ending. I remember the ending very, very clearly. And yeah, it's, when you grow up watching Wayne's World and Black Sheep and stuff, and then you go back to her older films, it's kind of like sick.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, the vibe, Little Rascals is very different than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slightly.
They were rascals, weren't they?
Yeah. These little rascals.
They were. I mean, you can see the through line from like her early stuff to the more commercial stuff, but yeah, no, it's pretty rough. Like I said, I probably watched it last time. I probably watched it when I was like 22, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Tyler said it's been probably about a decade or two, maybe, since he's seen it.
Yeah,
and we haven't talked about it at all yet. We haven't reviewed it. We just wanted to stop in and say hi and see if we can get a plot from you.
Yeah. Well, the plot's going to be a little bit of a gear shift here.
Okay.
Well, I have like a punk movie, but then I also have another movie, which was the original thing.
Yeah.
That I wanted.
What's your punk movie?
Oh yeah. So the punk movie is it's actually got Penelope Spheeris as a character in it.
Oh, cool.
Because it's about the germs.
Oh.
Darby Crash.
Mm-hmm.
It's and they play a huge role in the decline of Western civilization. But yeah, it's about Darby Crash and the germs and their 5-year plan of him just basically killing himself, overdosing on drugs.
Oh wow!
Is the movie?
What's it called?
It's called What We Do Is Secret.
Oh.
Yeah, and oh god, I can't remember his name. Shane something is the lead. He's been in a ton of other stuff. But then after the movie came out, he fronted a Germs like revival.
Shane,
like the Germs got back together.
Shane West is the main guy.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is streaming on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Pluto, and Freevee right now.
It is. It's very easy to find.
Yeah. Cool. Well.
Comparable
so,
to
I mean,
Suburbia.
It's not like. No, well, kind of, a bummer, but it's more like the Hollywood version.
Oh, okay. A little bit more produced. This is from 2007.
Even though it's an independent production. Hey, sweetie.
Papa Adam.
Yeah,
she's talking now.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
she won't stop.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
All right, well, we'll look that up.
Really
I mean, I already put the Decline of Western Civilization parts 1 through 3 on my watch list to get an idea of Spheeris' other stuff. Spheeris'. So I'll check out What We Do Is Secret as well. But what's your actual plot?
Okay, so I wanted to take my son to watch this at the Tower, but it didn't work out, and so I acquired it, and we watched it, and it was great. It's called Robot Dreams, and it's this. I believe it's a Spanish director, and it's like a nearly wordless movie. It's like anthropomorphic, like animals. Yes, I will go on the trampoline. I watched it with the kids, and they loved it. I know. So I watched it with the kids, and they loved it. And it's really it's like really imaginative, but it's also like very emotional, and like it's got some weight to it. But it's nearly wordless. It's just all these like animal characters in New York City, and it's about this dog who's lonely, who orders a robot. It gets dropped off at his house, and they go on an adventure, and then they get separated because reasons, and they can't get back together, and it's very,
Interesting. And
it got me. It's fantastic.
Animated, mostly wordless, emotional.
Yeah.
Spanish with no words.
Spanish. Yeah, but it's like, all the words on the screen are like, oh, that's so sweet. Like there's a lot of posters for movies because it takes place in the 80s. So there's like posters for movies in the background where there's like famous billboards or whatever, which is like a neat thing. But other than that, it's just a really, really kind of cool, simple animation style. Oh, it was great.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've heard a lot of people say this is great, and it got no release at all. It's like really hard to find.
For like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed.
Seems like a bad business model to put it in theaters for a week when it's getting almost universal praise.
Yeah, well, people need to know.
Yeah.
Harry Potter is real.
Yeah.
Human.
Harry Potter is real.
Ask your kid what their thoughts on Suburbia is.
Oh, sweetie. Well, no, I was going to ask her about Robot Dreams.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Even better. Okay.
We're moving on to Suburbia. That's fine.
What?
Yeah, the film Suburbia? Penelope Spheeris.
You know the one.
What do you think?
Thoughts?
She said she's not interested.
She said
not interested. No.
She's like,
fair enough.
She says it was a bummer.
I prefer Linklater's version.
Yeah. She's yeah. There is the other Suburbia.
Yeah. Well, there's no place that you can stream that right now, Robot Dreams, but we'll put a pin in that, and once it's available a little bit easier at home, we will push it out to the classmates for everybody to watch.
Yeah, I'm not endorsing anything else other than just see it when you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very good.
And if anybody who is not involved with the Adams Unstreamable nights, just follow us on Facebook when we have another bootleg cinema night. We usually will promote it on the Facebook page too. So come and join that next time you can. It was a lot of fun. We saw Shock Treatment this last Sunday as a group, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
The sequel to Rocky Horror.
As good as, it's the first time I'd ever seen the whole thing, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, at least we agree on that.
Can't win them all though, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's all good. It's
They can't all be bangers.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason it's unstreamable. All right, Adam, we're gonna let you go. I know you need to go jump on the trampoline.
Yeah, I mean, It's required.
It's very important.
A father's work is never done.
Exactly. We have duties.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling in the show, buddy.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice to talk to you.
Talk to you later, dude.
Bye.
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 What a delight.
Yes.
So,
that was cool of him to call into the show.
Yeah. He just out of the blue, he just said,
"Yeah,
Suburbia, huh?"
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
what he sniffed it out. He was like, someone's watching Suburbia.
What is that?
I don't know if he like watched last week's stream or saw that all three of us had logged it on Letterboxd or something, but he figured it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Suburbia. I chose this movie because it just came up in my mind one day. I thought because I knew about the movie. I knew that it existed, and I watched it, and I was very into it because I was full blown into my punk phase. Which, for our viewers out there, I'm wearing my punk jacket right now, so you can see my patches.
Is that Dracula over there? I see.
That's Dracula. Got Vampiro. Got the Danzig patch, and
there you go.
And then
let's look on the back. I will narrate while you turn around. Tyler's got the giant Misfits patch on the back here.
You know it? Yeah, I got the whole costume set up.
The whole costume. Playing the part, yeah.
Yep.
Halloween came early.
You know, like there would have been a time where I would have been so offended by that.
How long have you had that jacket?
Oh, I've had this jacket since 2015.
Okay.
So almost
coming on
10
a decade
years
now.
Yeah. But I remembered watching this movie when I was a teenager. And so I guess I had been like nearly 2 decades since I saw the movie. And I forgot about it. Like I knew of its existence, but I couldn't remember the title. But like I remembered the movie, and there was like periods of times in my life I'm like, what was that movie? What was that?
I hate that feeling.
I was like, what was that punk movie that I watched? And like
I would video games sometimes. I'm like, what was that game? The knight, you jump around with a knight and he's got a sword out, and there's like pink and blue acorns. And you're like, oh, it's wizards and warlocks or something like that.
Yeah, it's so like it always like evaded my memory, and then one day I think I saw like a post on Reddit or a TikTok or something that referenced the movie, and it was like Suburbia. And I was like, that's what it was.
It unlocked a core memory for you.
And then so I wanted to revisit it at the time that I saw it, but I thought it would be good for the show just to talk about it more in depth.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting movie.
But yeah, so like this movie, I mean, by all accounts, it's not that great of a movie.
Is this your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I'm getting my initial thoughts right now.
Oh my god! Just curious.
What? I think so it's not very well acted. It's not very well written, but the attitude of the movie is kind of what sells it for me the most, because it is definitely a movie that you would watch like as a teenager, and then you would be like, oh, and especially like if you're into punk music too, like, and you're seeing this movie like with like, you know, green eyes, and you're like, yeah, I'm a punk too, yeah, like it kind of just like fuels that fire, and exactly. And so I think there's something endearing about the movie as far as like how it's made. Like I was reading some trivia on it that a lot of those child actors like weren't even trained actors; they were just kids.
Yeah,
and so
they actually ran over that one.
Yeah, they yeah. That was
committed to realism.
Yeah, that was a big controversy. But I thought this movie was very endearing. I don't know if I would watch it again though after seeing it the second time around. I think it's just it's a movie for kids. Yeah, like it's a movie for teenagers, like people like going into their puberty years. You know, it's Like
I remember my puberty years fondly.
You know, and it's an interesting thought as well that I had.
Sorry, that's me. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
just checking the stream.
It was an interesting thought that I had too. Is we were talking about how like comedy like evolves, like with the Kentucky Fried Movie review. I feel like in a way that this movie is definitely, it shows its age, and you look at like another movie that's beloved in the punk community, SLC Punk.
Yeah.
Which I think is like made that subject matter of being like a young punk rocker in like a town, like being quote unquote rejected.
Yeah.
I think that was done better than Suburbia, but I feel like Suburbia for myself, like just after watching it with a critical eye, there's just something, endearing about it. I mean, yeah, it's not that great, but it's got character, it's got heart. But again, it's rough.
All right.
So, what about you, Joseph? What was your initial thoughts on Suburbia? You messaged the group chat saying you wanted to turn it off in 10 seconds after going into the film.
Well, so there's an interesting story to be had.
Okay.
I don't even know if you responded to me.
No, he just laughed.
No, I just
he's just
laughed.
laughing.
Yeah, I was just laughing.
You weren't,
I was working, so I couldn't do anything.
I didn't get any clarification, and I was still unsure.
How could you? Like, what do you mean? It was on the last episode.
Because there's two movies that are named the exact same thing and are kind of about the same type of subject matter. I didn't. Okay, so what happened was. There's two movies entitled Suburbia. One was released in 1983, which is what we're reviewing, and then one was released in 1996 or 1997, directed by Richard Linklater.
Yeah,
and that's streaming on Prime, and so I like.
Oh yeah, both of them are streaming on Prime. Yeah.
I think it's on Prime. Anyway, so I just watched Suburbia, just picked the first one, and then I went to that one, and started playing it. I got it was the opening credits, and then I see directed by Richard Linklater. I was like, "Oh, Linklater did this! Oh, I'm excited now."
I can't wait.
And then I got about 30 minutes in, and I realized that I was watching the wrong movie.
And he texted the group.
And then I messaged the group like asking, I was like,
I told you it's the 1983 one like 5 times, and you said, but are you sure?
Yeah.
You didn't believe it.
No, I didn't.
I'm like, yes, we had this whole thing asking about Penelope Spheeris and what she directed.
I know. I remember that. I think it was the director that clued me into it was wrong. But then I was thinking like maybe Tyler was wrong because I wouldn't put it past him to not know that there was two movies entitled the same thing.
Yeah,
and so I was like,
"That's fair."
Are you sure?
That's fair. Fair. Yeah.
But then
Brianna was reading reviews of the Linklater Suburbia, and she goes like, "Why do they keep saying Linklater directed this? Isn't this a woman directed this?"
Yeah.
Like, you're on the wrong one, baby.
So I and the Linklater one had Giovanni Ribisi in it, and some other names like actors, not like actual punks, like in the '83 Suburbia.
Right.
But yeah, after 30 minutes, I like turned it off and put on the right one, streaming on Tubi. And then within the first 10 seconds, I was like, "Oh, this is the one."
I regret
this is the one.
Damn it. Okay.
Because like when you first start it, it's a very, very grimy, very low budge, very like shot on cassette or something.
Audio cassette converted to a video.
It's like the audio quality is not super great. And so I was like, oh, this is the kind of movie we're watching, like a suburban Sasquatch quality type of movie.
Yes.
So I felt it was dirty, it was stinky, it was smelly. The world that we were presented in this movie, I eventually kind of started to like it a little bit. There's some. It's overall, it's kind of a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she used actual people, like not actors, for a lot of the roles. So like a lot of the acting wasn't super great. Plus, like the whole like dog shooting scene was really fucked up, and even how they filmed it was fucked up. Kind of reminded me of White Dog.
Yeah.
How they're like blowing dogs up basically, and you see them like flipping. And they're basically their legs in the front were tethered, and then when they wanted to get them getting shot, they would just pull the feet underneath them, and it looks like those dogs are breaking their necks.
That's how like horses are when like battle scenes when they trip up a horse. I'm like, horses like if you break a leg you got to kill them?
It's race horses.
Yeah, that's all horses.
No, it's race horses.
I'm pretty sure it's all horses.
I don't think it's all horses.
Oh,
maybe in the movie industry because like they can't keep performing. But so I didn't appreciate that. I even looked it up that it wasn't. They did it without telling anybody, and it was it was like the American Hollywood like Animal Association or something like that. It was not an authorized
production or whatever
production, and they gave it a disapproval rating.
It was a run and gun, emphasis on the gun.
Yeah. But after that, it's a lot of it actually kind of reminded me of. You guys seen This Is England? Ever seen This Is England?
No.
It's very similar, except it's in England, and a little bit higher production quality. It has actor Stephen from Boiling Point, and
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham, yeah, and he is like a England like nationalist, so basically a Nazi.
I think I have seen that movie. Yeah.
And he's a skinhead, and he runs with a bunch of other skinheads.
I'm thinking of Green Belt Gang, Green Iron Gang, or something like that with Elijah Wood. Anyways, continue.
And so they're like those guys who like wear the suspenders and the white shirts with the white button shirts.
Nazi punks, fuck off.
And the shaved heads and the big boots.
Yeah.
And there's a kid in that movie that gets involved with them and becomes like, essentially one of them, like a young kid. And it's a very tragic story. But a lot of what happened in that movie reminded me of what happened in Suburbia. But yeah, overall, by the end, I was like, I would never watch this again. and you're right, Tyler. It is not a great movie. I understand the feeling of like the punk nature of it, but like it was bored. I mean, they were racist. The line where the guys he tells the kid who his dad is, his stepdad is, and he's like, it gets worse. He's black. And he's like, oh boy.
That's going on the board.
It's it was a tough watch overall.
I mean, it's a product of its time.
And I'm like, is this punk? Is it punk to be racist?
Well,
it's for skinheads, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to get into that.
We will.
But yeah.
But overall, not a big fan.
Okay.
Not a big fan.
Pete,
Thank you.
Thank
you, Tyler.
I thought you were just gonna start talking.
No. I want you to get the full host experience.
All right. Well, Pete, what were your initial thoughts on 1983 Suburbia?
Thank you, Tyler, for asking that. I thought you'd never ask. So I thought I had to double check that I was watching the right movie when I turned it on, because I'm like, isn't this from 1983?
Yeah.
This looks like it's shot in 1965 or something like that.
Yeah, it does.
It is rough.
Yeah.
The grain and the low quality nature of it. And I started looking it up, and it's produced by Roger Corman, who just recently passed away and is a king of like shitty low quality movies.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for that. Very good callback. And it's made for $500,000. Half of it was from Corman. The other half was from Spheeris herself.
Where did the rest? What? $500,000.
$500,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like it was made for $50.
I know. It's like I heard that I read some trivia in it saying that the most expensive scene was $50 but because they had to hire a cockroach wrangler for the cockroach.
So they got
shot.
a fucking wrangler for the cockroach, but they
all the dogs.
fuck the dogs.
Yeah, for real, because they couldn't get the shot. So
we need a cockroach trainer.
So it turns out, I was looking this up while you were talking, Joseph. A broken leg in a horse can cause damage to blood vessels and other tissues. And since horses have evolved as prey animals, they need to stay on their feet pretty much all the time. It can prevent healing. Should an injury prove to be career-ending, it is common practice for the horse to be licensed as a slaughter horse. But it also applies if it's a non-race horse, just because of it's like it can heal terrible and then the leg's fucked up for the rest of their life. Seems brutal to me.
A slaughter horse.
Which begs the question in movies like, Napoleon or Gladiator, or Braveheart, or something like that, where they
any war movie with horses, war horse,
war horse, and they do the same thing. They tie the rope to the horse's front legs, and then they fucking flip over. Like, isn't this really, really bad for the animals?
I think it is.
So.
Most likely, yeah.
So I'm watching. Yeah, most likely, definitely not good for him. So I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, the first scene is the kid gets nuked by the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Penelope Spheeris' own words. She says that Corman had almost no input on the production, except for he pushed to make sure that scene where the kid gets nuked is on the very, very front, the very up front of the first scene of the movie. He wanted that. I wanted people to be ready for what they were going to see.
Yeah.
And then it's like immediately goes to the sexual assault of a woman on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is just standing around like
laughing
and poking fun and stuff. And it's like, granted, she didn't get raped. Thank you for that. I'm glad for that to happen. But I'm like, I feel like the
thanks for not raping me.
Yeah, thanks for not having that on camera. I'm glad I didn't have to see that. But it's like, I feel like now, I think like the punk movement has turned into something very different.
Oh, that would not fly. Like, even when I was active in the punk scene, when I was a teenager and young adult.
So like early 2000s.
If that would have happened, like, you would have gotten your ass kicked.
I'm sure.
Kicked hard, too.
I'm sure. And back then it was like the punk scene was synonymous with skinheads and racism and just getting in fights and stuff like that. And I feel like now it's almost like punks have been pussified in a sense.
I agree.
Because of woke.
Yeah, because of woke.
No, I agree.
But that's a good thing because,
fucking liberal.
Because do you not think it's good that women don't get raped at punk shows now, Tyler? You gave me a look.
Wait, what?
I said that's a good thing, and Tyler goes, I don't know about that. Run the tape.
you said I think punks are now pussified, and which I think is a good thing. And I was like, no.
In some ways, it is a good thing because if it means that you lose the accountability of people like this to run rampant in your scene.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna. Like we should still be violent, just not against women.
Sure, I mean, I think that there's probably still a fair
and
amount
not racist.
So just violent against other white guys.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
No hate crimes.
It's like I the way that I thought about it was like punk was always just rebelling against the system. It's like the have-nots rebelling against the haves, which is right. I mean, what other ethos could you ascribe to the punk scene, Tyler?
I mean, it's not what.
I feel like we're getting into like what defines a punk.
That's the whole point of the movie, in my opinion.
I mean, really, at least for myself, it was just about liking the music and being a part of a community of like-minded individuals.
Other racists.
Of other racists. I mean,
at the time.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's not. It was not like when I was a quote unquote punk kid.
Yeah.
I was never about like, oh, fuck the system, blah, blah, blah. It was just more about like drinking bags of wine in a VFW hall parking lot and then just getting into some fights with like other people. Like, I mean,
bags of wine.
Yeah, wine bags.
Yeah.
Space bags.
Did punks
space bags.
drink wine bags?
Yeah, space
whatever.
bags.
Cheap
punks
liquor.
and wine in the same sentence. I don't know.
Wine is a very loose description of what that is.
I mean, it's literally like a polyurethane bag with a spigot on the end of it.
Yeah, it's the inside of the box of wine.
Yeah.
Joseph says, Bridges in the chat, hearing what you're saying, you're really not going to like the punks in the dock. They hold zero back.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the decline of Western civilization. Yeah. So, anyways, the point of all this is like, I just feel like the punks that I know now that are like, there's no room for hate in our scene, versus what the original punks were. I feel like this is true to life because all the people that were put into this movie were people that she had met making the decline of Western civilization.
Right.
She would basically immersed herself into the punk world, and she goes, well, I'm going to make a movie about this. I feel like people should know more about this, and less people are going to want to watch a doc than are going to watch a narrative movie. So let's make this movie. Let's make it true to life. And I don't doubt that was accurate.
Yeah.
I think that it probably was. And now it's a very different scene. And there's like this revisionist history for like old punks that are like, that's not us, man. We were never like that. We were not one with the Nazis. We were not one with, those type of punks. We're different punks.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you were. Maybe you were the racist dude stomping people out at the club because you had all this negative energy in you and needed to get your wiggles out. And the way you did it was by stomping out other ethnic cultures,
Yeah. So, it's
kind of like,
I think you are correct in your assessment of like.
But Tyler, your era of punk when you were in that world was early 2000s. This is 1983, so it's referencing stuff from the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rough time. Some pretty bad economic stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like lack of middle class and just very, very strong, like rebelling against the system.
They still had lead in the gas too.
Hell yeah, everyone's just sucking lead.
Yeah.
But, so, and Joseph, I don't mind seeing all that stuff. Joe Bridges, not Joe.
What?
I don't mind seeing that stuff. I actually think it's very interesting. I thought the movie itself was super interesting. Yeah, it's almost like a historical document. But you cannot argue that it's a well-made movie because it's low budget. It feels like a punk movie because it's done on a very DIY feel.
$500,000,
which
very punk.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than that, even though that's what the accounts say. And the actors are not good.
No, they are not.
The line delivery, that like the two main tall guys, the one skinhead and the one blonde guy.
Oh, Jack and Skinner.
They're just like, every line they say is, hey man, why don't you just lay off of us?
Yeah, just like
call 5-0.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? This is our place, man. I'm not leaving this house for no one.
Hey, open the door.
Yeah. I try to keep this place clean. I put nails all over the walls.
Where's my yellow shirt?
Yeah. Hey, man, you heard me. I said, where's my shirt?
Oh, God, the shirt.
Not the one that I'm wearing right now, the yellow one.
And I can't find my damn shirt.
Yeah. So it's really rough in that regard.
Yeah.
But I still thought it was very interesting. It was very engaging. I'm glad I watched it. I can't imagine I'm going to watch it again. That like low punk, lo-fi vibe of the whole thing was just kind of hard to get through. So it made me feel like, man, I can't wait to watch SLC Punk again. I really wish I was watching that instead.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think that movie would exist without this.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think too.
Yeah, it's just like
we wouldn't have Wayne's World without this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
or the little Wascals.
Black sheep.
Yeah. So so anyways, interesting pick. I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad we watched it, and I can't wait to watch The Decline of Western Civilization.
Yeah, I have heard about that documentary before. I'd never got around to checking it out.
Bruce is in the chat, and he also says it's a key punk doc. Everybody says it's great.
Yeah.
How to Punk documentary. A lot of the acting reminded me of the Portlandia version of Gutter Punks.
Oh yeah.
We're like, does anybody have a dime?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a dime?
Yeah, I think what I do appreciate about this movie is like it's a short movie. It's only hour 35. And there's not really like a cohesive story. It's just kind of just following these kids who live in an abandoned house.
Underlying story because you got those two guys that were laid off from the factory that are just constantly a thorn in their side, and you're like,
did you guys think that they were gay?
What? Who? Wait, the two main guys?
The two
the blonde guy and the skinhead?
No, the guys who were shooting the dogs.
No, what?
The guy who's wearing the Dodgers hat.
Oh.
Why would I think they're gay?
I don't know. I just got that vibe from them that they might diddle around with each other. You didn't get that vibe?
No, I can't say that I did.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm your host, Outrageous Tyler.
I don't know. I just got that vibe that they were gay.
No, I thought they needed something to do. They were busybodies.
Yeah.
A woman busybody, when you're kind of given that title as a suburbanite, is like, those kids are playing too loud in the street. I'm going to go talk to their parents or call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
A male busybody in the suburbs goes out and kills wild dogs and children. That's why women are better than us.
I mean, look, I actually like this is going to be a very unpopular opinion amongst the table right now, but I didn't.
Sorry. Okay.
But I actually did not care. I did not mind them killing those dogs.
Really?
Did you mind them abusing those dogs in real life?
Well, yeah, in real life, yeah. Like if
okay, you're saying story wise,
story wise, like they were in the right because
a child got mauled by a dog.
Child got mauled
recently.
The police knew, like the city knew that there was a pack of wild dogs running around and hurting people, and they weren't doing any animal control wasn't doing anything about it. And so these two guys who got laid off from their probably really cushy factory job,
assembly line work,
and so now they're pissed because this kid gets killed, and they know that their city isn't doing anything, and so they're just like, well, shit, like let's just go and kill them. Like what are they gonna do? And so I can see that. I can see how like that would be like a justifiable thing to do, because
how about trapping them instead of killing them? Like a raccoon trap but a dog trap. They go to the animal shelter, and if they're
then they put them down.
If they're rehabilitatable,
no, they're putting them down.
If they're if they're able to be rehabbed, then they can find a home, and if they can't, then they get put down.
No,
they're being judge, judy, and executioner all in once.
Judge, jury, and execution. I thought you said judge, duty. And
that's what it did sound like that.
Oh,
they're being judge, duty, and executioner.
That's from
because Judge Judy is the jury.
That's from Hot Fuzz.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that regard, like I was like, yeah, good for them. Like they're taking care of a mess.
They're pieces of shit themselves.
Well, of course they're pieces of shit. Like that, those guys are detestable. But the reasoning behind of what they were doing, I know it was supposed to be shocking because no one wants to see a dog die on film. So it's like,
did Bree watch this?
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, I mean, I kind of figured out what you thought.
And so, I mean, that's kind of what this movie does. It does it not great, but it tries shocking. Like it tries to shock the audience.
Shock value.
So like you have the kid getting mauled. It's not really shocking, and it doesn't even look that.
It's great. Not really shocking.
Wow.
The fucking toddler gets mauled to death by a Doberman within the first 5 minutes of the movie
with red eyes too,
and it's not shocking.
No, that's not shocking. I mean, like. What's shocking is in Hereditary, where Charlie's head gets blown off by a telephone pole.
So you're just, but you can acknowledge the fact that a toddler being mauled to death by a dog is a bad thing.
Oh yes,
it is shocking.
And it is shocking.
I mean, like if it happened in front of me, it would be shocking.
But it's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
Tyler, it's all fake.
So
it's all fake.
It is really.
It's all fake. Yeah, wrestling too.
The idea of a toddler. The idea of a toddler being mauled by a dog is shocking. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
But not in the movie.
They're not in the movie.
Not in the movie though.
I'm saying that the way it was executed wasn't shocking.
I thought it was like I felt like everyone.
It didn't even feel like it mattered to the overall plot of the movie. Like was that why did he push so much for that scene?
I think that maybe he wanted that at the very beginning just to qualify the people that are going to watch the movie, because
gate check.
Yeah, exactly. If this is too much for you, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
because you're going to have a young child punk on a 3-wheeler get plowed into by a Buick Riviera or whatever.
Yeah.
I could see that coming from a mile away, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, I mean, like, just like if they're gonna kill a toddler in the beginning of the movie, like, what, like, how much farther can you go?
If you're gonna join a hate gang, bring your little brother with you.
Yeah, is it a hate gang?
Kind of.
I mean, like, they say hateful things. They're ignorant.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But
I didn't get the fact
that
they were like.
I don't think they like subscribe to.
There was one point in the movie where I actually sympathized with them.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
When they were like, when the stepdad cop sheriff guy comes in, the plainclothes cop comes in, and he's like not arresting them, but he's like not kicking. He's like telling them like, hey, you guys got to stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
yeah.
The one thing. That scene themselves, and they're like, we don't have anywhere else to go. Everyone here comes from like abusive households or drug riddled homes or whatever.
He's like, go to college. Like, we couldn't even afford lunch money.
Yeah.
I understand it too. It's the problem is that
I'm just gonna be in foster care. Yeah.
I mean, the real problem is like if you're put on the outskirts of society, you're living in this flop house with a bunch of friends, new friends or whatever, but like when they immediately are going into the neighborhoods, into the suburbs, and just stealing shit from people's garage, and not just that, but also terrorizing people. Like they they're going up to garage sales and be like, "Hey, you got any vibrators, bitch?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Okay, don't be a dickhead about it. It's like be humble if you're in this,
Excuse me, ma'am, do you have any vibrators, please?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But they're stealing the stuff from the guy's freezer, and then he comes out and they beat him mercilessly. He's lying in a pool of blood and his piece of hair and stool.
I think
left over what used to be his face.
I think the food stealing is fine. Like, I
stole a loaf of bread.
Like, it's fine. I won't fault. I mean, how are they don't have anyone to buy them food.
Sure.
Although the stepdad is kind of a piece of shit in his own right too, because he's not helping these kids, and he's in a position.
The law. like the Tyler's takeaway is that the one guy's that's being nice to them is the piece of shit in the story. This stepdad, what a loser this guy is.
Well, I mean,
not because he's black.
But
it's because he's a cop.
Yeah.
No, I think that he should have done something. He knew that his stepson and all of his friends were living in that decrepit house, and I'm not saying he should have enabled that group of kids. But like,
what do you do in that situation though? How do you help them? Real world scenario. What do you do? You have money.
Well,
at
least give them food. Like, I mean,
for what? Like one time?
No, you don't give them money. You just you give them food and give them opportunity. And if
what does that mean? What is give them opportunity?
Like employment.
So hire them at the police station.
Yeah,
these fucking guys. The skinhead.
Maybe help them get another job.
The guy that has no shirt and suspenders the whole movie, until when he's trying to find that yellow shirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I
mean, but honestly, like you give them food and they're good for a couple of days or a week or whatever. Then what? Next week, more food?
Yeah.
What about
they're just kids.
What about their parents?
But that the whole thing, like where they have like that town meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? They were being pieces of shit, like vandalizing and stealing and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I get that, but I think it's just a little bit more of a complex situation. And I can't remember what the cop's name was. But he like stands up like in the town hall meeting and says,
like, they're not monsters. These are children, yours and mine.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, these are children. Like, and I remember like one scene that really sticks out to me is where Evan, the character that was in the beginning who runs away, he was watching on the TV. I think it was like at a Radio Shack or something, and his mom is on the news because like she was drunk driving.
She injured 3 people driving drunk.
Yeah, I thought she killed, but yeah, she injured them.
She got felony drunk driving charges though.
Yeah, and Evan, the kid, was like already so like emotionally detached from like that old lifestyle. He was like, I'm not surprised. Whatever, man.
Yeah, he's like, hey, my mom's got a car like that. Hey, that is my mom.
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And
yeah,
then
typical.
And then eventually, that's when he goes to get his little brother.
Yeah.
Were they staying with? Was he staying with like a neighbor or something?
Well, see, that's what they don't make clear is like the little brother. Like there was no indication like he was going. Maybe he was like in a foster home or like a relative.
I think it was like the next day, so he's got to be like in a grandparent's house or next door neighbors or something.
Yeah, but I mean,
in the 80s, it was not uncommon to like stay at a neighbor's house.
Yeah. So I mean, he was getting taken care of. He was getting fed and stuff, which. It's kind of fucked up on Evan's part to take him away from that stable lifestyle because...
Hey, little brother, you want to come live with us fuckos?
You want to come live with us at a trap house?
Yeah.
You want to live in worse conditions.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is like he is easily manipulated into doing that because all he has to say is, you don't have to go to school anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't have to go to school anymore. Like any kid at that age is going to be like, is going to take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, you ever heard of the phrase abject squalor before? No? All right. Let's go hang out with my friends.
But I think Evan also, he was manipulated by the TR kids, the rejected, which I cringed. I like groaned like because I forgot that that's what their little group was called.
It's 83.
Yeah.
We're the rejected. And I was like, oh.
And they are rejected. A little on the nose, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like, but that's kind of like a typical thing that you would hear from like a group of teenagers.
We're the rejected.
We're the rejected.
Want to know why? Because
why?
We just like the name.
Yeah. Because
it's like the group in the It series, the Losers or the Loser Club.
Loser Club. Yeah.
It's like, God no, Jesus, can you get a little bit more creative?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't think of a good group name like for us. Like,
For us?
Yeah, we should.
Oh, by the way, you guys want to brand each other after this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
You gotta burn.
You gotta burn. Screw this, man! I'm out of here. And then the kid who
also a little homophobic. The movie too. He goes to see his dad, which is, I mean, I wouldn't want to see my dad naked on the ground with any woman or man. In my living room when I go home,
face down on the floor,
just like spooning,
spread eagle.
Yeah, it's just spooning, and you walk up. That was the funniest thing because he walks home, he goes, "Man, these guys suck," and he like looks in the front window, dang it, and just walks back. There's my naked ass dad with some dude on the ground. I guess I'll go back to that flop house.
Well, I mean, I was.
Guess I'll go burn myself.
This was one thing I was confused about. Like, did the dad and his partner were they like the owners of that hotel?
I think it's like an apartment, and he was just hanging out at the pool.
Okay,
I think
because the impression that I got was that the dad and his partner like it didn't even look like an apartment to me. It looked like a hotel, like one of those like sleazy hotels.
Sure.
And that he was allowing his son to live in one of the hotel rooms. And because when he's leaving with his suitcase, the dad's like, running away again, huh? Like, yep.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I thought, I mean, this is just, I mean, it's super vague, and I think it's vague on purpose because it doesn't matter. But like, I always like having these little, I liked having these little thoughts like during the movie, like, oh, I wonder if that gay couple like owns that hotel. Like, I wonder what kind of business they're running out there.
I wonder what his wang looks like. That's what I want to know.
I mean, it probably looks
straight, curved, got a mole on it,
circumcised, uncircumcised.
I don't know.
Hair up the shaft a little bit.
I mean,
all the way at the base.
Is it like a triangle shape, or is it like
triangle?
Or is it like I guess, or it goes like that,
like a yam?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enough about men's penises.
It's like swollen.
Enough about men's penises.
It's like a syphilis ridden, maybe.
Also, those two guys that thought they were doing the right thing, when they break into the house, what's their plan? Are they just trying to scare the kids? They find the one girl, they rip her shirt off, and then
the guys to go threaten them.
Yeah. And you're like, if you really feel like you're the good guy and you break into the house and the first thing you do is rip someone's shirt off, even if it's like on accident, and you realize that it's a young nude woman that you're like holding, you would immediately go, oh shit.
You definitely do a one. Yeah, you definitely do a 180.
Like, man, we really look like the bad guys right now.
Not them.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta commit.
Yeah.
I think it's
Quick, get in the El Camino.
I think it's just a testament to like the frustration of people were having during like the poor economic times that was the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that
They're
was
the original NIMBYs. Not in my backyard.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny that actual house that they filmed in was what do they call it?
Condemned?
Eminent.
Eminent or condemned.
No, it was eminent domain. They basically, the city condemned that entire neighborhood so they could tear it down and build a freeway.
Yeah, exactly. And so
the same freeway that they used to film Speed when they jumped over the thing.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. Wait, where does this take place?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Angeles, yeah.
It takes place in Los Angeles, but they're talking about how they got laid off from GM, which would make it believe
Michigan.
It's like Detroit.
Yeah.
But it was filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh, so was it supposed to be in Detroit?
I think it was supposed to be set in Detroit, but it's filmed in
Yeah.
LA.
They don't specifically say, but like you said, Pia, if they're saying GM, it's got to be Detroit.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I like the I like the kid dying from getting hit by a car.
And you like the kid dying from the dog too.
I like the kid dying.
I like
from
when kids die.
I you know what? There's something about
Something so satisfying.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just like kids dying.
The only one of us on this podcast that actually wants children, and you like revel in the fact when there's a child death on screen.
I know, right? I thought the overdose scene was.
Maybe you
really
shouldn't
sad.
have a kid.
Why?
That was sad.
Why? No, hold on. Wait, why?
What you were just talking about?
Because I like kids dying on film.
Yeah,
it's like saying when you watch a movie with a dog gets tortured and you think it's great and you're like, I should get a dog. It's just concerning in the same sentence, in the same breath.
Coming from the same person.
Yeah,
I can see how you could confuse.
Like if you were to adopt a kid, they'd be asking these questions. Like, what are your favorite movies? And you're like,
Suburbia.
Kids dying.
The opening scene of It, Georgie dies. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Suburbia, kid gets mauled, and then the end. Middle's not so good, but the end when the kid gets hit by the car and dies.
The one with Macaulay Culkin where he dies with the bee sting. That one, I love that scene.
The good son. Yeah, you don't have to make the choice. You kill your own child, or this adopted child is actually better than your own child.
I wish they killed them both though.
Yeah, we just dropped them both.
That's a hot take right there.
The person who's interviewing you is rapidly writing rubber stamps on the clipboard.
Decline.
But I really felt bad for the girl who overdosed. And you know what? I don't think they punished the dope dealer enough. Like, yeah, the skinhead kicked Skinner, what they call him. He kicked his ass, but good. But they still let him hang out. It's like, no, I get your ass out of here.
They're like, no.
I mean, part of it is like they keep saying get out of here with your dope, but he's there the whole time. So they're complicit in it too,
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, well, if there's a problem with you supplying, I mean, and he was drugging people at the concert in the beginning of the movie too, which is why Evan got
give the first taste is for free.
Yeah, it was just.
But the security guard gets stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
He should not have died from that.
I don't think he
died.
I don't think he died.
He was laying on the ground.
No, but he was moving.
No, if you remember, when they were doing the investigation, they had all those he was still on the ground, and there was the.
I thought that was the ambulance that was tending to him. Paramedics. I mean, he could have died. Who knows?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, everyone was just standing.
I know. Everyone was just standing there
There's the people are very unaware of their surroundings in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot. I think there's a lot to hate in this, but there's also a lot of very interesting things.
I liked to
also hate
Mike be the Flea.
Oh yeah,
Flea is in it.
Yeah,
he plays Rizzle or Razzle.
Razzle.
He plays the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
one of the outtakes. Somebody in the car calls him Flea, and he goes, "My name's Razzle, man."
Is it really?
Yeah. It's left in the movie. It's not an outtake.
Yeah, that was fun to see him in there, and
super young. Yeah,
very young, and I mean, it's weird. He is very young.
Flea is in it.
Yeah, Flea's in it.
One of the few times I can use that.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting though is he is very young in the movie, but he still looks like the same as he does now.
What are you deep throating a rat for?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. You've never done that with like your cat or something?
I mean, I've had rats.
no.
I've never done that.
I've had
Just shove them up my ass.
You heard it here first.
like when you have a cat and you like have food in your mouth and you stick your tongue out and the cat eats it off of your tongue.
I used to do. I used to do that with my rat.
Yeah,
and I didn't put the rat in my mouth.
And then you go, "Come here." Oh.
What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you never deep throated a cat before? Don't let sit there and hide in your tower.
I used to when I had a rat. I used to eat when I was eating goldfish. I would hold the goldfish between my teeth, and then the rat would just crawl up my chest and like take it out of my mouth.
Nice.
Why? Why not?
What's wrong with the rat?
No, nothing's wrong with the rat. I've lived with rats before, so
not the pet.
They are no one's pet.
Well, you're kind of.
So before we give it any grades, I just want to know, Tyler, how formative was this on your decision to join the punk world?
Did it?
I was already
before or after.
This was after.
What made you? What was the allure of the punk world?
Well, I liked the way it
was bored.
Yeah, I liked the way it looked. I liked the idea of being with people who liked the same music that I did and dressed the same way that I would dress.
But what I'm saying is you started dressing like that at some point. Before you started dressing like that, why did you start dressing like that?
Because I thought it looked cool.
So you were emulating them, and then you liked the fact that they were dressing the way that you dressed because you dressed like them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a snake eating its tail.
How?
Wait, I'm confused. So you like the way they dress, so you started dressing like that, right?
I started dressing. I started dressing a little bit like it because I was still like I was growing into liking punk music. So like once you start discovering punk music, then you start seeing like
my first vest, gotta get my studded bracelet,
exactly.
Gotta get my spike my hair up, gotta stop showering.
Yeah, exactly. Like so it cascades. So like my first punk record was Black Flag Damaged.
Black what?
Black Flag Damaged.
There we go.
Okay. And so like once you start like going into that like category of music, you start seeing how people dress and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I want to get this band t-shirt. Oh, I want to get a leather jacket.
So it was the music first.
The music led you to the style, and the style led you to the people.
Right. Yeah.
And the people led you to the racism.
I wouldn't characterize racism with a group of people I almost said worked with, but hung out with. I mean, like we've got into fights with Nazis at punk shows before.
So you were in the early 2000s when the scene had a lot less of that in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The only reason I ask is that people find different subcultures, subcultures to for various reasons.
I mean,
I went through a minor goth phase when I was a junior high.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Looked like the lead singer of Static X.
Oh man, I wish I was like Wayne Static. But it was like wore a lot of black, dyed my hair black,
Nice.
Never got to cybergoth.
Cybergoth was kind of what I was going for. I was like Neo from the Matrix.
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
hoping for that.
That's awesome.
And I didn't feel like I wanted to join some sort of culture, some sort of subgroup or whatever. I didn't feel like I had that longing, so I didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of time with, I've said it before, the Juggalos, it's just like a gang,
The lifestyle.
Yeah, it's like you feel like you have nothing to latch onto, so you find this subculture of people that are like, all you got to do is just dress like this, listen to this music, and you're one of us.
Well, I mean, like the kids I was hanging out with, like they came from similar lifestyles, like the kids that are presented in Suburbia, and I was just, I mean, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
I was just gonna ask, did they make fun of you for being a rich kid?
Well, I did not grow up as a rich kid.
That came later.
Yeah. However,
I've talked to Jamie. She had humble beginnings.
Yeah. I mean, so stop talking to my mom. However,
she was hot, dude.
I couldn't relate to I couldn't relate to those people because like they came from like serious like broken homes, and so they used the punk scene as a means to like have support and escape.
Yeah, find a family.
And for myself, it was about finding a community, but not in that way.
You always had that golden parachute,
right? Like I knew I was gonna be home and not be like sleeping in a park or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
you're like an outside observer. You were basically Penelope Spheeris in all this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's
a little bit like Dinner in America.
Yeah.
Point that out.
You should really watch that movie. I think that you would love it.
I'm going to be severely pissed off. If next week you don't watch it. You have not watched it.
Shit.
It's on Hulu.
All right. Well, but yeah, so I'm
gonna dig up a little bit of dirt here in 1 second.
Oh, on what? Oh, no.
So
okay,
we
dirt.
Let's see here.
I don't even want to know what this is.
Go ahead and continue talking. I'll find it.
I mean, I don't even know much more to say about Suburbia other than that it wasn't like a pivotal sort of movie for my youth, but I did check it out at like when I was like peak punk Tyler, and
nice.
I was like, yeah, punk
yeah. Okay, I found it. I said I asked you guys if we could record on Sunday this week. And then I said, hey, Tyler, did you watch your streaming pick this week? This was August 12th, which was
a Monday.
6 days ago.
Monday. And you said, I have an anti-streaming pick. However, I will have more.
That did not happen.
I know it didn't happen. That's why I'm talking about it. And then, and then I said, oh, you're going to have more, like the second or third act of The Whale? And you never responded.
No.
And then you didn't watch anything else.
Nope.
We're doing this for you. For you, Tyler.
I mean,
you're gonna love Dinner in America.
I believe you guys.
Don't watch Lady Bird again. Watch Dinner in America.
I'm not gonna watch Lady Bird again.
You said you might.
You said you might.
I might. I said I might. I didn't say I will. I said I might.
Okay.
But
the idea that you might though.
Will, do you guys have
abrupt ending? Gotta say.
Yeah. It was immediately
just like credits.
Yeah.
What else there is to say?
I mean, yeah, and I'm glad that it ended that way because there was no character in that movie that you could like latch onto emotionally. So it's just
maybe the punks were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, the Suburbia really truly was a Suburbia, right?
Yeah, I think there is for what was presented to us, I think there's a story to be told, but have one character be the focal point, and that's it. Like it probably would be like
SLC Punk.
Yeah. I mean, or like any sort of like mentor mentee sort of movie where like Evan the kid, he's going into this unknown community that's really rough, and he's by all means, like his hands are like clean. And then Jack, the blonde haired guy, kind of like guides him. Like he's like the leader of the TR club or gang, but he takes Evan under his wing. I think there could be a story told there, but I mean,
This Is England is pretty much what you're describing.
Oh, okay.
Green Street Hooligans is the movie I was thinking about. I just thought of that.
Oh, Green Street Hooligans, yeah.
And that's similar too, except for they're soccer hooligans.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these are just
Elijah Woods gets pulled into it.
Yeah, this is like kind of like almost like the same age as the little brother, maybe a little bit older. But yeah, he gets like Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
He's like the leader of this Nazi punk gang. And he takes the main character, who's this little kid, under his wing, and he becomes like radicalized and racist and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a story to be told there, but I think that's why I like the abrupt ending, because it just doesn't. There's nothing to be wrapped up. It's just like,
what else do you need?
It's just like, okay,
yeah, and the cops right there, so they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I told what
happy.
Yeah,
happy time.
Told what I needed to be said on film, and there you go.
All right.
So let's get some grades on Suburbia. Joseph, what would you grade Suburbia?
It's kind of hard.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I wish.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy it necessarily. There were things about it that I kind of appreciated. I like the concert footage because I felt like they just went to they just set up a punk show with bands and then just filmed it. I'm surprised it seems like she comes from a music background. Spheeris.
She just indoctrinated herself into the culture to make the documentary.
Yeah, I guess so.
So she just was, and all of the stories that were put forth in like the different scenes here were stories that she'd seen or heard of in the punk scene while she was living that lifestyle.
I don't know. Like a C, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. C
C
for that movie.
Okay.
C,
go.
never watch again.
All right. C, never watch again. All right. Pete, what would you grade Suburbia?
This is perverted. This is creepy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that made me feel icky watching it. But I felt like it was a good thing to watch. I think it was a good exposure to an interesting point in American history.
X.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much of it was true, but coming from Spheeris and having just made that documentary, I tend to believe her point of view in this and her the way that she's framing this lifestyle,
Right.
So I think that it's a mixed bag. There's some interesting stuff here, and there's also just a really kind of hard to watch DIY nature. Once I get involved, or once I get used to it, though, once I've become acclimated to the water, it feels good. I'm watching it, and I felt like I enjoy this world, and I see the point of view of the characters. I could see kind of where the storyline went. I just wish it was just better acted and the production quality was better because it just made it a little bit hard to watch. So
yeah.
I told myself it was more like a documentary that somebody shot with a handy cam and it was a little bit more enjoyable to me. But the stuff that was hard to watch, the mauling of the kid, the weird sexual assault on the dance floor that nobody does anything about.
Yeah.
It's like you like the kids and then you hate them, and then you like them again, and then you hate them, and then you're like...
I know when they beat up the dad who abuses the one of them, the girl.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, there's some...
They're kind of like heroes in a sense, and then the word gets back that they
did that.
They trashed the funeral home.
Yeah.
And was completely taken out of context.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was interesting. I'm glad I watched it. So, but I give it a C+.
All right.
And this is the security guard. Oh, hey, you're here. Oh, you're stabbing me.
It's so true.
Yeah.
He's so dramatic about getting stabbed. He's like, and it was
what
like
a
in his
bitch.
It was like in his it was like in his
back,
hip,
where all the organs are.
No, it was in his hip fat. So
it's like an aside.
When you punch like a boxer punches you in that spot, it's a kidney shot. That's where your kidneys are. They live back here.
The kidneys are right above your ass. It's like in the middle of your back. He got stabbed in his ass almost.
All right. Come over here. I'll stab you in your ass.
No, thank you.
Be a dramatic baby about it. I'm gonna stab you in my butt.
That's not a knife.
All right.
But I'm in the same camp with you guys. I'm giving it a C as well. I think this is a movie that I would want my kid to discover on their own. Because that's how I did it. I discovered this movie on my own. No one told me about it. I don't even know how I discovered it. I just did. And I think I'm better for it.
This is one you would just put on when your kid's in the
living
room.
No, I wouldn't put it on. They have to go out and seek it and find it.
It would be on pause in the opening scene. And they walk up, oh, what's this?
But I think I'm better off
because of it.
Living at my parents, working a very hard, laborious job that pays nothing. Yeah.
I know how much you make. You make more than nothing.
You're sitting in a nice, comfy AC, air conditioned U-Haul truck right
Looking
now.
down on all those Amazon drivers.
Oh yeah.
Little punk bitches. How dare they unionize?
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. Man of the people. Man of the people. Look how far you've come. How many times did Tyler say he was man of the people back then when you're listening to these old episodes, Tyler Joseph?
I don't know. I don't know if I've gotten to that point yet. If he started saying it,
He hasn't.
I haven't started.
Settled into his Damashek-isms yet.
I haven't started ripping off Damashek.
All right, what's next, Tyler?
Let's get to the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, Suburbia is off the wheel. Tyler, do you have a movie for us?
I do. I have to unwrap my phone in this washcloth.
What?
Tyler's been fiddling with that.
I always have to fiddle with
rag.
everything.
You don't have to.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you just wrapped it for fun?
Yeah, he's
okay.
You haven't noticed he's been folding it?
No.
Over and over again, like a pastry chef. Just fold it in.
I do have a replacement pick that I'm really curious about because I've really never heard of this movie up until recently.
Song of the South.
Yeah. How did you know?
Sorry, man. Birth of an Nation. My bad.
1987's Broadcast News.
Oh, cool.
Directed by James Brooks.
I always wanted to watch this.
Yeah, I just found out about it. Someone who I really respect recommended it, so I was like, well, I'll check it out.
Cool. All right, so Broadcast News is now on the wheel. For new viewers or new listeners, this is the Wheel of Destiny. We have 8 slots, 3 hosts. The other 2, we each get 2 movies, and the other 2 slots are for Patreon members. So I did not get a message from Ryan or listener Chris, so I still don't know what our second Patreon pick is, but that's fine because we got Dallas, who was in the chat.
Grizzly Man.
Big Red Dow. He's got Grizzly Man twice now. The Core from Pete. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Pete. Broadcast News from Tyler. American History X from Tyler. Do the Right Thing from Joseph. And Notting Hill from Joseph. So this is what we're going to watch next week.
Short spin.
It's The Core.
Yes.
Wow.
Freaking yes.
Dallas wanted The Core.
Oh, Dallas called it. Oh, that's great.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
Okay, so I don't know.
It's been a long time.
I don't know anything about this movie except for it has something to do with the Earth core, hence the name.
Yeah, the Earth's core stopped spinning.
Okay, so
Which apparently, I know it was kind of brought up because the article about the core might be spinning backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is streaming on Pluto and Paramount through Apple TV, or it's a $4 rental. Geophysicist Dr. Josh Keyes discovers that an unknown force has caused the Earth's inner core to stop rotating. With the planet's magnetic field rapidly deteriorating, our atmosphere literally starts to come apart at the seams with catastrophic consequences. To resolve the crisis, Keyes, along with a team of the world's most gifted scientists, travel into the Earth's core. Their mission? Detonate a device that will reactivate the core.
So it's basically like Sunshine, but going into the Earth.
Sunshine and Armageddon.
Yeah. Aren't they just trying to blow up the asteroid in Armageddon?
Yeah, but they bring us explosive device. In this one, they're going to blow up the center of the core of the Earth
to reignite it.
So this is starring Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, he's the main.
Hilary Swank.
Is Tucci in it?
Oh my God. Also, Delroy Lindo. Bruce Greenwood. Christopher Shire. Ray Galletti. Anybody else recognizing this?
Could have swore Tucci was in it.
Tucci? I don't see
I remember there was a bald man in there.
No, Chris Humphreys. He's bald in this.
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, it is Stanley Tucci.
Oh, cool.
As Zimski. He's way down there.
Zimski.
And then, so this is directed by John Amiel. He directed Copycat.
Annual.
He directed Entrapment and Copycat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard of Copycat, I think.
And then 2002, The Walking Dead.
What?
I don't know.
2002?
2002.
The Walking Dead came out in
apparently, I don't know. So anyway, so we'll watch this. It should be fun. I've heard it's a shit show. It's goofy and takes itself way too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched
both
this.
seen it?
Yeah.
I've not been. I saw it in theaters.
You saw it in theaters?
Wonderful.
Yeah. that was the last time I saw it, I think.
Oh, that's great.
It used to be on TBS like all the time, and I actually really liked the idea of the core, the plot. So I'm super
How they build that
stoked.
drill? Anyway.
We'll get into it.
All right, cool. So, anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
Okay, so thank you so much to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That is Javier, Heather, Chris, Michael, and Steven. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen to the YouTube page. That helps too. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. It really means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us today as we watch and review Penelope Spheeris' Suburbia, not Richard Linklater's. Follow us next week as we review The Core. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail. Why don't you? We'd like to hear from you. 209-730-6010.
Follow us on TikTok, Middle Class Film Class, and at Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Let's do it up. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.